Good day, everyone. The topic that I will report is all about the family Salviniaceae. It is came from the kingdom Plantae, division Pteridophyta, class Polypodiopsida, order Salviniales, and my topic, family Salviniaceae. The accepted common name is Salvinia, but it is also called Cariba weed, water fern, or African pile, and it can also be found in Africa. Giant azolla or Australian azolla and can be found in the Philippines, and giant Salvinia water spangles or floating fern which can be found in the United States. Next is the distinguishing characters of the family Salviniaceae. It is a free-floating fern. The stems is rootless, hairy, about 10 centimeters or 4 inches long. And the plants are rootless annuals or perennials. And the root is a modified leaf that looks and function like a root. Then to the stem are dichotomously branched rhizomes, protostelic, and erenchymatous. When we say erenchymatous, it is a specialized tissue in some water plants characterized by thin walled cells and large intercellular air spaces. And let's go to the leaves. The leaves are simple, dimorphic, which is fertile, different from sterile, and erythematous, and are closely arranged in the rhizome in whorls of three. Two are entire and floating, and one is sporiferous and dissected into narrow root-like lobules which submerge in the water. And some of the interior segments of the leaves bear spherical sporocarps containing microsporangia and megasporangia. Then, also the distinguishing characters of the family Salviniaceae is because it contains a ramette. Each plant is a colony of ramettes of the plant Salvinia, and each ramette comprises an internode, a node, a pair of floating leaves, the submerged root, and associated buds. Then there are 10 species worldwide and represented by two extant genera, namely the Azolla and Salvinia, consisting of 16 species. The sporocarps, which each interpreted as a modified sorus with the endotium functioning as protective wall, globus. Heterosporous, each bearing at maturity either one megasporangium or several microsporangia. Then for the megasporangium, it has one functional megaspore surrounded by maculae gelatinous, maculae is a gelatinous masses of tissue from multinucleate plasmodium, and each megaspore forming an endosporic. When we say endosporic, it is the process that evolved before seed-bearing plants processes and is still used by different classes of organisms. And for example of this is the ferns. Then female gametophyte with several protruding apical archegonia. Then let's go to the microsporangia, each bearing several microspores. Each microspore developing into a male gametophyte with antheridia forming sperm cells. It is surrounded by and becoming embedded within gelatinous maculae, which may form hook-like glochidia. When we say glochidia, it is like two shell halves that can be closed with a closing muscle. Then examples. There are two genera, namely the Azolla and Salvinia. The roots are absent in Salvinia and present in Azolla. The latter erenchymatous without root cap and growing in water medium. This is the example of the Azolla of the genera Azolla. The species, namely Azolla pinnata, a species of fern known by several common names including mosquito fern, feathered mosquito fern, and water velvet. It is native to much of Africa, Asia such as Philippines, and parts of Australia. Next is the Azula nilotica. It is a medium-sized floating fern that naturally occurs in the Nile and in eastern and central Africa. Next species is Azula cristata. The Carolina mosquito fern, Carolina azolla or water velvet, is a species of Azula native to the Americas. Is the Azula folliculoides and Azula and the Azula primeva, an extinct species of water fern in the family Salviniaceae, known from Eocene fossils from the Epresian stage 56 to 48 million years ago, found in southern British Columbia. Next genera, Salvinia. Example species of Salvinia auriculata, a species of plant in the Salviniaceae known by the common names earth water moose, African payal, and butterfly fern. It is native to the Americas from Mexico south to Argentina and Chile. It is cultivated as an ornamental plant and it has become naturalized in the wild in some places. Is Salvinia minima, a species of aquatic floating fern that grows on the surface of still waterways. It is usually referred to as common salvinia or water spangles. Salvinia minima is native to South America, Mesoamerica, and the West Indies and was introduced to the United States in the 1920s to 1930s. It is classified as an invasive species internationally and can be detrimental to native habitats. Next is Salvinia molesta. It can also be found in the Fulbright Garden and commonly known as giant Salvinia or as Kariba weed after it infested a large portion of Lake Kariba between Zimbabwe and Zambia. Is an aquatic fern native to southeastern Brazil. It is a free-floating plant that does not attach to the soil but instead remains buoyant on the surface of a body of water. Next, Sylvania nathans, commonly known as floating fern, floating water moose, or commercially water butterfly wings, is an annual floating aquatic fern which can appear superficially similar to moose. It is found throughout the world where there is plentiful standing fresh water, sunlight, and humid air, but is especially common in Africa, Asia, Central Europe, and South America. And for the economic importance of the family Salviniaceae, it includes Salvinia species used as cultivated ornamentals. Some species are weeds of water bodies and use of azolla to control mosquitoes by covering the water surface. And it is also used for as animal fodder and as a seeded addition to rice paddies, enhancing rice growth by release of nitrogen from symbiotic cyanobacteria. And that's all. Thank you.